All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's Jaw Jackin, but it looks a little different because we're going to be doing Jaw Jackin with my good friend and Team SC community member, also a mod, also a Discord admin, also just an awesome cybersecurity professional and chief forensics officer, Eric Taylor. You might know him from these sound effects, or this sound effect, or this sound effect.
Ain't nobody got time for this.
He's known for a couple of things, but it's going to be all about good times. Stick with us, guys, because over the next 30 minutes, you'll be able to ask all your cybersecurity questions, get all your answers, and be all about good times. Let's go ahead and bring Eric Taylor on stream. Good morning, Eric Taylor. How are you?
Man, I'm full of anger and coffee. Let's do this.
Anger and coffee. Perfect. I did see Eric very spicy, very in Discord earlier. The man was getting really upset just about Chick-fil-A, so I'm sure some of these cyber stories might be igniting him. What can people expect, Eric?
So I'm going to bring light to what Microsoft spoke about yesterday, pretty late, but they're bringing a new feature called Recall. So we'll be digging into that. And once you get off, I'll share something that DJ BSEC shared in Mod Chat. So once you leave, then...
Is it related to spiders?
It is related to spiders.
All right, I got to get out of here. All right, guys, have a great time. I leave you in the capable hands of my good friend, Eric Taylor. Until next time, everybody, stay secure.
There we go. Out of the room. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Let's start up some music. You know me, I don't have my stream deck in place, so always got to share my screen. I'm going to start off with some Dolphin. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, I had to turn down the volume on my head there. So we'll start this thing off with the infamous spider hanging out in Dr. Gerald Ozier's studio, just hanging out there, having a good time. It's pretty cool. A lot of times if you do anything with ChatGPT or anything AI, all the spelling is completely jacked up. This one's really, really close. So, really like that. Checking up on Mod Chat. So we are going to talk about a story here in one moment. If you're new to this, definitely leave a Q colon with your question. Mods will actually be able to see that. This thing's so loud in my ear. And they will be able to capture that, and I'll try to bring it back up onto chat. So one thing I'm just being pinged or just noticing in the Mod Chat from Kimberly Can Fix It. We do not have any volunteers for the Simply Cyber Challenge. I will put one thing that I fuss at Jerry all the time. I think it's exclamation challenge. Give Nightbot a second. Yep, there we go. So anytime you ever want to see who, go to LinkedIn directly and see what who the latest is. We created that bit.ly link there. So it makes it really easy to find the latest people who are doing the community challenge. But we do definitely need somebody to pick up the baton and talk about your cybersecurity journey and how you got into the industry. Those that we did have somebody that was nominated, but they respectfully declined. With that, I'm going to talk about the story that I want to talk about. That's going to probably bring me to a big, hot, frothy train wreck, ladies and gentlemen. Shut this off.
Microsoft has unveiled a new feature for Windows 11 called Recall, designed to log user activities and help retrieve past actions. Recall creates a timeline of all PC activities, including websites visited and live meetings. Integrated directly into Windows 11, it requires a Copilot Plus PC with specific hardware. Users can manage privacy settings and storage for Recall, which stores information locally on the device. This tool aims to enhance productivity by making it easier to find and access previous work.
All right, let's see if we can. This is going to be, the demo gods. But there was actually a video I seen over on Twitter that actually showed this. No. And of course, everybody's starting to talk about it now, but dadgummit. Let's see videos. Let's try to do it that way. Oh, of course I can't find it because I didn't bookmark it like a jackwagon. You know, I only seen it at like 11:30 at night. So anyway, this one's definitely got a hot bud type. So if you bought any recent computers lately, you will have seen the new Copilot icon on there. And that's because it does have the hardware that's required and is labeled as a Copilot Plus PC. All right. So apparently you need Qualcomm Snapdragon, which, you know, it's been a while since I've been a major hardware person, but I thought Snapdragon was a mobile processor. I don't remember. Correct. Let me know in chat. You know, is Qualcomm's Snapdragon a mobile processor? Or I guess an ARM processor, ARM processor. But the one thing that's interesting, well, there's several things that are interesting, but you additionally have PC must be running at least 256 gigs, which I don't know any laptops really, unless you're getting a big box store special. You know, insert big box name here. I'm not trying to call any of them out, Staples and Walmart. Um, but it does take up to 50 gigs of. You need to have at least 50 gigs available for on your hard drive for this. Now, let me explain exactly what this thing is doing. Okay, this thing is literally taking screenshots and parsing it. Like if you're an old person, and welcome to the old, and you had to have your Adobe PDFs and things like that, you know, scanned with OCR so that way it can do text reading or be able to quickly search your Adobe PDFs and your Word documents for certain text. This thing is essentially going to do that exact same thing. This thing is going to, you know, look at images. It's going to digest everything. So it's going to be a resource hog on your computer. Now, this may be, oh, this is a cool idea. You know, if I'm trying, like, for instance, I'm trying to go back and see, you know, the Twitter thing. Well, you'd be able to go back and see that Twitter feed that you were looking at. Yes, but do we really want that stuff to be discoverable? I argue no. I think from a forensic and privacy standpoint, a lot of people are using these tools. My video looks all sorts of messed up, ladies and gentlemen. Give me 1 second. Do I look blurry to you guys? I've been having problems with my video. Maybe time for a new camera. I've been meaning to redo my entire setup here, so it may be. DJ BSEC is actually dropping the video. Cashley Joseph is telling me to clean my glasses. So, yeah, there's actually a better one, and I'll have to find it, DJ BSEC. But, you know, from a privacy standpoint, we'll have to see how this thing plays out because, you know, if you're in any sort of regulated space, you'll have to, you know, people are just dumping AI or dumping information into AI and, you know, trying to make their jobs easier. And I get it, but you're giving up privacy. You're giving up things that are potentially discoverable. And when you get breached, you get popped, with malware, with anything, these threat actors are stealing data. Now, I thought it was just a beauty feature, Rex. Thanks, Rex. Yeah, I'm old. I'm getting all fuzzy. Literally, when I look at YouTube, so I have the YouTube feed so I can see the chat and I see here. So in YouTube, it looks clean, but in here, in Restream, I look pixelated as crap. So whatever, we'll roll with it. But so they're stealing your data. How long do you think it's going to take for threat actors to start searching that data? All right, and starting to do that from a data exfiltration. And if it's capturing that stuff, we've all seen the stories. New feature captured banking information. New feature is unintended consequences of doing X, Y, and Z. This is just problematic, and it makes me really consider migrating over to a Macintosh, to be honest with you, because Macs and there's so many more control features I can implement from a security standpoint on a Mac than I cannot do on a Windows. Now I've got myself pretty locked down. Like we were even discussing in mod chat, one of the mods was going to Chick-fil-A and stuff like that, and I was like, a lot of times I have to bring my wife with me or whatever because I do a lot of times that mobile drive-through and I can't scan that QR code because I literally have QR codes disabled on all my phones. I can't scan them. So you're using Restream. Yeah. Rex, I've been considering just streaming from OBX, but I'm not sure how well that works when I come in to do jaw jacking and stuff like that. So if I'm taking over a stream or something, but anyway, Restream works really well. But anyway, I just see this as being a major problem. I see this as being an invasion. Microsoft claims that all the information, let me actually switch these screens over this way, remains private and stays on your device. I call total on that. One patch update and it's going to have unintended consequences, like we said. Supposedly you could be able to stop, delete, recall logs, and you can exclude specific apps or websites. Again, this goes back. Those who are old. So I'm being told by Joseph that in the mobile app I can actually put in there "I am here" button now. Okay, cool. That's good to know. The DJ B said, I love your effort. Hold on. It was actually by the CEO. Yeah, I say CEO because if you've been around for a while, I don't know how Hooked on Phonics never really works for me. Oh, this is it. This is the video. Finally found it. Let me see if I can get this going. Pause. Unmute. Now, I'm going to go off a screen for a second just to be able to maximize this. Just watch this. This is a pretty good demonstration of what it was doing.
How do we introduce memory, right? Photographic memory into what you do on the PC. And now we have it. So it's called recall. It's not keyword search, right? It's semantic search over all your history. And it's not just about any document. We can recreate moments from the past, essentially.
Here's how it works. Windows constantly takes screenshots of what's on your screen, then uses a generative AI model right on the device, along with the NPU, to process all that data and make it searchable, even photos. I got to try it out. I searched brown leather bag. It came up in visual search, There's no place on this page that it says brown leather bag. It just knows because it sees this brown leather bag. There could be this reaction from some people that this is pretty creepy. Microsoft is taking screenshots of everything I do.
Yeah, I mean, that's why that it can only do it on the edge, right? So this is like, you have to put two things together. This is my computer, this is my recall, and it's all being done locally.
Who wants to call BS on that? Who wants to? I do. I mean, I was going to say a moment ago, there is a time in your life, or especially us old folks, where that had been around for a while. And I'm not sure if Cisco still does this, but I remember way back in my days when I was a Cisco call manager and Cisco admin, you would log in to Cisco and you would get root privileges and always have that banner that just because, always remember, with great responsibility or with great power comes with great responsibility. And this always pivots over to other items I've learned, like just because you can do it, should you? Now for the end user, I'm sure this is a great feature. Again, I worry about banking information. I bank, with all these things, right? I can't tell you the last time, or I can't tell you how many times in the past week I have got called because somebody fell victim to a sextortion for online social media. I'm getting these calls daily. And I just want to be like, stop taking selfies of your junk. Right? I mean, I want to yell at people. Like, what are people honestly thinking? Right? What are they thinking? I just don't get it. I really, really don't. So I'm sure there's going to be something in Microsoft Endpoint Manager, formerly Intune, because Microsoft changed their underwear, so they have to change their naming and SKUs and everything else. So I think this is a train wreck. I'm going to be going out and literally buying. So we have several dummy accounts that we use. So I just got an email that I may have to jump off of. Give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I need to read a potential important email that I may need to jump to.
Afro, whoa.
All right, it is important but not critical. So I just won't be able to do a very long extended one. So let me review mod chat, because I know there's some questions coming in. From Pamela Joshua, question, is there an opt-out? Supposedly there is an opt-out. They said here, scroll down. And I'm just catching up on stuff. So I think I've already discussed this, but it's stated you can pause, stop, delete what recall logs, and you can exclude specific apps and websites from being recorded. All the gear that we have does not support this recall feature, so yay, get to go spend more Joseph's paycheck. It looks like we do have somebody who picked up the baton. That's very cool. Very, very cool. Question from DJ BSEC in the mod chat. What about admins that have access to user machines to be able to look at the machine and rewind user stuff? Yeah, DJ BSEC, that's something that still needs to be determined, right? You know, is it... I don't know anything about it, right? Literally, it just came out. I've literally got to get my hands on one of these computers and do a forensic dive on it. So I'm gonna have to do a bunch of freaking searching and, you know, all this stuff, creating multiple user accounts and see, just forensically look at this thing. But yes, it is a complete total. J.E. and Michael question, so will this be the entire enterprise computer wide? I am going to assume yes. You know, if you're not blocking it with Microsoft or Endpoint Manager or GPO or whatever the case is, yeah, it's going to be open. And this is not going to be, you know, those who are system administrators, you know that you can import ADMX. Is it ADMX or ADMK? The Adobe add-on, or not the Adobe, but the Active Directory add-ons that you can put in there. That way, like, you can be able to add features and functionality to, like, doing OneDrive and all these other things inside of your organization from a local environment. So I'm sure this will have its own import feature, so that way you can add that functionality in there. Microsoft version: with great wealth comes great abuse of power. Facts. Bear with me as I'm going through mod chat here. Thank you so much, mods, for doing these screen captures as I go on little this just in: Joseph doesn't get paid. In other news, the sky is blue. Just to clear it up, Joseph does get paid. I don't even handle paychecks anymore. That way he gets paid. There was a couple of times there I just had too much going on. I forgot to run payroll. Life of a business owner. Don't wish it on anybody. Luke Canfield, I'm going to make a channel and it's just going to be me screaming at Microsoft logo and throwing white monster cans at it. I'm there for it, dude. Let's see, from DJ BSEC. What I'm getting at is if admins have TV or some remote, so team viewer or some remote capabilities to be logged in as a user, then boom, you got access, unless it stops with remote services being used. So that's actually a good. Oh, I didn't even think about the remote IT MSP aspect of it. That's actually a good thing. So if you have TeamViewer, you have Screen Connect, you have Splashtop, you have whatever tool to remote into the end user's devices, it's going to capture all that. It's capturing screenshots and you're mimicking GUI access. Oh. Holy fuck. That's definitely going to I mean, yeah, that's going to affect IT, because you may be or the user may be able to, you know, go back into their recall and see potentially administrative sensitive stuff. So, you know, a lot of times, for those who don't know, Oh my gosh, this is gonna make my brain hurt. Thanks, DJ BSec, for making me want to jump out of a window now. All right, let's just process it. So you remote in. You're helping Bob, the builder, erect his building in AutoCAD, and he needs administrative rights to be able to do something. You remote in. You put in. You get the UAC prompt, user access control, because he's not an administrator, and you get the. Now I got it right where I want to. Oh yes. So you put in the administrator passwords to do the privilege escalations. I wonder if it's going to capture those keystrokes. I wonder. Like, let's just say hypothetically you're trying to get into. We're doing forensic stuff, and we're analyzing. We're doing PowerShell. We're doing these things. This is going to be a problem. Alpha's here. I don't know. It's pure speculation, right? Logging, local, pure speculation. I mean, this is hot off the presses that they're releasing. I don't know. Phil Stanford, does that mean Windows becomes non-HIPAA compliant? Absolutely. Now you're getting where I'm going with the screen captures. It absolutely effing does become non-HIPAA compliant. And it's going to be on the business's IT and security people to prove that this is not enabled. Tai Wong Gong. I need a pronunciation check for that one. Can you use TeamViewer to get into a Windows Home user? Yeah, you can use TeamViewer to get into anything you want. Mono Julian, thank you so much for the super chat. I'm sure Dr. Gerald Ozier will greatly appreciate it. The recall feature isn't bad. They will or may have a feature within recall that can prevent sensitive information from being recorded. Again, yes. Possibly. To be determined. This is a trust but verify. And we've all seen, Mono Julian, I know you've been around for a while. Go back and look at the last month. 3 weeks, 2 weeks of information that's been misconfigurations and everything else. And like I said, let a threat actor get on your environment and they're doing data exfiltration. How long do you think it's going to take before they start exfilling that? All you need is a misconfiguration and it's capturing everything. So unless you absolutely need it, it's better just to disable it. Phil, yes. That's the other thing I was thinking about with DFIR cases. Phil Stafford said, any lawyer will point to this and say violating some sort of chain of custody. Yeah. I don't know if it will, though. Because the chain of custody is just for the forensic artifact processing. But if it's enabled, I'm just thinking back on a couple of cases. Yeah, if it was enabled, then assumption of data exfiltration will probably be automatically assumed. Benny Blanco, what do you do then? Disable it. If you have it, disable it. FedEx says, according to Microsoft, Recall won't save any content from your private browsing activity when you're using Microsoft Edge or Chromium-based browser. Okay, what about all of your Office applications? What about Firefox? What about Opera? What about Safari? What about any of the? What about Tor? What about all these other third-party browsers? It's not good enough. It's simply not good enough. It's not. just because you can do something does not mean you should. So who wants to start a class action lawsuit over HIPAA violations against Microsoft? Oh, Rex. Joel Harrison, they are encrypted screenshots though, are they? Have you been able to do a forensic dive? Can you be able to view them? Honest question, I'm not trying to be an a-hole. As far as I know, this was just released days ago. And they're just talking about it as of yesterday. Have you done your due diligence to be able to say that, or are you making assumptions? Or are you just reading something that was on a website? You know, I can literally go on Google right now and say, find me 10 sites to prove that the earth is flat or that the earth is round. I can find any news article to support my theory that I want to do it. You know, if you're left wing, right wing, whatever, you can find whatever news articles to support your theory. Mono Julian with another super chat. Look at you, dude. I don't think hospitals will use this since most of them are using Epic and that company's highly strict on screenshot. Yes, Mono Julian. I'm trying to remember back because, I mean, I would have to assumption being the mother of all. Boy, that dolphin bud's gonna wear out today. I have to assume that they will administratively disable it. I'm sure Epic will come out with some sort of documentation to help system admins, because Epic is a pretty good. So those who don't know, Epic is a program that hospitals use for patient care. It keeps all the vital signs. When you're doing. There was a story either earlier this week or last week about portable cardiac imaging, and those who've been around for a while kind of know what with everything with Hunter and everything, with MUSC. I'm like, no, they're on the network all the time. Like, they're taking echoes and they're doing all this stuff, and it's literally getting uploaded within minutes to Epic. So, and then that way, that's like their main thing. So if you're an MSP or an IT, Epic is like their equivalent of a ticketing system. Everything is run in Epic. Prescriptions, allergies, medical history, everything. Epic is the application that runs everything in a lot of hospitals. Joseph, you don't tell me what to do. I'm not reeling anything in. Unless there's something else that I'm not paying attention to that I need to. Just checking to make sure I'm not missing something. Alright, any other questions now that I destroyed everybody's day with Microsoft Recall? Joel Harrison says that it says it records everything and screen caps every few seconds. Rick Armstrong says, yep, time to switch to Mac, like you said. Considering it, anything Windows-based can run in a VM. Yeah, that's one thing that I have been going back and forth. So my old pen testing days, I'm not saying what we do right now, but back in those days, I would have a basic Windows computer that I would do all my penetration testing, and I would spin up terminal, I would do all my stuff. It would be in the core OS, anything corporate that I needed to do. I even got to a point where I was only checking business email inside of that VM, and it was just like a container, right? A Docker image or whatever, you know, but it was a VM. So anything corporate related, it was done in the VM. So I don't know. It's good. This is a wake-up call. You know, we've been talking about AI. We've been talking about all this stuff. You know, I'm going to go on a rant. I'm going to get canceled today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it. There was a story. I'm going to pull it up. We're going to really wear out. We are going to wear out the dolphin button today. Because this is what I was going on a train wreck about in my chat. And I feel like being a total a-hole. Because if y'all know me, I just speak the truth. I just speak the way that I see things. Can I get a link to that article again? Yes, absolutely. So before I go on to the next one, that's that one. And for those who want it, here is the link to the video that I found on Twitter. Joel Harrison, thanks for the shout out and love everything you do for the community. LFG, let's go. Absolutely. Joel, happy to be here. Let's see, where was... Yes. You know, right off the bat, I want to ask, I have to go back and see this, but what does a SEAL sniper Mark, which I instantly know that face. What does Mark Luttrell have to do with this story? Was Cyber Force? He wasn't Cyber, he was Special Forces. But if you read this story and you're like, yay, the US government is doing something to make us better, I have to ask you one question. What kind of crack are you smoking? And what is it laced with? Because could I have some? Go back and look at all of the executive orders. And now, this, not to get political, this is not a Biden slam, even though we can go on that for days. And we can also do that with Trump and Obama and, you know, all this other stuff. Everybody's got their flaws, right? But of all the executive orders that were issued by Biden for securing the DoD and securing infrastructure and securing their businesses and everything like that, and he had 6 months to do it. How much of that got done? How many of those agencies said, we can't do this in the time that we wanted? A lot of them. I don't know what the number is off the top of my head, but I know it was over 50%. Here, let me pull this up. Biden executive order. Yes, Glum Hippo, yes. That's why I made this statement. You know, we can say a lot about Trump, we can say a lot about Obama, and you know, the list goes on and on and on. Da, da, da. 2023. I think this, the one I'm thinking of, is order. Ooh, but this actually goes into the other topic. We'll go on this train wreck for a second. Biden issues executive order on safe, secure, and trustworthy artificial intelligence. I wonder if recall classifies as that. If it's not doing encryption and being able to search on it, is that safe, secure, and trustworthy? Because recall is going to be classified as a form of artificial intelligence because it is scanning images. As you've seen in that video, it's scanning the images, it's populating stuff that was related to brown bag. Sorry, something that Dr. Gerald said. If you're watching Dr. Gerald Ozier, I'm trying really hard because I want to cancel myself off the planet with some of the words that's going in my head. All right, let me free. I would cancel myself off the stuff that's going on in my head right now. So we had this. I'm pretty sure it was in 2022. I don't think. No, it's not that. Foreign investments. Dadgummit. There was a my Google foo. Let's just try this. Oh, was it back in 2021? Let's see. Oops. I hate when it does that. Yes, this is it. Just put in the chat. Within 180 days of this order, federal agencies shall adopt multi-factor authentication and encryption at rest and in transit for the maximum extent consent of with federal records. This whole document is full of everything that the federal governments are supposed to be doing within timeline. Within 90 days, you just seen the other one. Within 60 days of this order. This one I know for a fact is not done. Establishing a training program to ensure agencies with effectively training and equipping to manage FedRAMP requests and providing access to training materials, including more stuff that's not done, and it's been about, what, 3 years now? Because this is in September. Oh, May. Oh, so it is 3 years. So yeah, why are we going to adopt and create more things? How about just freaking enforce the rules of the books? Come on. Yeah, this is going to be a spicy take, and the views of the following are of me and not Dr. Gerald Ozier or anybody with Simply Cyber. But how in the world are you expected to make more rules without enforcing the ones you already have, or at least trying? When you go, if you're in infosecurity, you remember the first rendition of CMMC. NIST 800-171 is purely self-attestation. So you can just say, oh yes, I am complying with 800-171. I am an upstanding citizen. You can trust me. When CMMC came out for DoD prime, subprime, so anybody who works for the DoD, it was now becoming mandated that you have to go through an audit to verify you are essentially complying with 800-171. CMMC added, I think the first rendition was like 10 or 13 extra controls. It really proved something that I knew for a while, because everybody was all up in arms. Oh, we're going to need billions of dollars to be able to do this. You want to know why? They say we're freaking doing it to begin with. All these policies that keep coming out have zero teeth. Oh, is that music a little too loud? My apologies. Let me turn that down a little bit. So let me know if that music is better now. Because those who don't know, I'm not sure how Dr. Gerald Ozier has his set up. I'm assuming his is as loud as it's coming out to you guys, but because of my setup is different, my headphones is different volume level than what you guys are hearing. So, all right, cool. I'm going to assume the thank yous and everything are confirmation the music is turned down a lot or enough. The Mono Julian in the non-super chat way. No, I just love you, bud. Had a question. I'm having difficulties transitioning to GRC role within the pharmaceutical sector. I'm either in the desktop support role or system administrator role. Any advice? Mono Julian, I am not the right person to do. But, you know, going back to some of the other stories, my tinfoil hat is screwed on real tight right now. That I firmly believe that a lot of the job postings that are online are not legitimate. I really don't think it is. I think a lot of the job postings are to show an over need of talent that's not there. You know, are there needs in the Yeah, cybersecurity needs freaking people like there's nobody's business. But I don't think people are hiring to the level that you see online. The other part of the problem is everybody and their brothers applying for that same job. All right, we've had job openings before, hiring for entry-level people, senior-level people. I would have senior-level people job postings. Back when I did medical for when I was running an IT MSP, MSP was just becoming a term, you know, because I'm old, and was doing a ton of medical stuff, and I was hating life. You know, the fact that you had to still fill out a 15-page document for a new printer install. Did you destroy the old hard drive? No. Why? New printer install. Did you freaking properly dispose of the old printer? No. Why? New install. Freaking the documentation that we put ourselves through to make sure we weren't, because a lot of our stuff was BAA agreement, business associate agreement. So, you know, we had to comply with a lot of the HIPAA regulations, even though it may not have been enforceable by us or whatever. I don't know, but I wonder if the position is valid. Mono Julian is my essential question. I would say just try to stand out. You know, I've said it before. You know, you've got, like I was going to mention a moment ago, with the senior level people, we'd have janitors, we would have, you know, people with no qualifications trying to get a senior level position inside an organization that really had no business applying. And within 24 hours, and this is years and years ago, I can only imagine even worse now, I would have over 100 people submitting job applications. And out of that 100, maybe 2 were even remotely qualified to look at. Bear with me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be right back in just a moment. All right, thank you so much for putting up with that. had a private personal issue to go to take care of real quick. So yeah, what were we talking about? You know what? We're coming up toward the top of the hour. I know I pretty much screwed on everybody's tinfoil hat just a little bit tighter, and kind of went off the deep rails on stuff that bothers me today. Did y'all get value out of that? Y'all like me just going completely ape crap on things? Brocacker in real life, IRL, you want the spider? There. Gary got value. Good to see you, Gary. Phil got value. Come on, Julie, did I answer your question, bud? But I would definitely talk to Jerry. He's a GRC guy. Phil, yeah. Phil asked, or said, aren't we supposed to be the tinfoil hat crowd just with actual knowledge of what's going on? Phil, or at least being able to ask the ability to ask the questions. And that's kind of what I did with Recall. You know, I'm asking questions like, is it really encrypted? Is that data really being encrypted? Who's being accessible? You know, DJ BSEC pointed out something I hadn't thought about yet. Literally, I mean, I should have thought about that, but he's more in the IT role than I am. I was starting to think about the forensics and how we process stuff, but he started bringing up good points as well from his thing, from a network administrator and system administrator that he's in, you know, with TeamViewer and all these other applications. You know, when you're remoting in, are you potentially disclosing information that's available to Recall, right? So this crowd is, you may not know the answers, but being able to have the wherewithal to start asking the questions so you can seek the answers. That is the most important thing, Phil. That's how we all get better. Learning what questions to ask, and then learning how to dive into that. I feel like Kimberly Can Fix is going to turn that into a short. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting to the top of the hour. I do have some calls coming up, and I believe 30 minutes I need to prepare for. I know I got a ton of calls, but I think I have one in 30 minutes. That is not right. Let me actually bring up my Outlook app. Yep, in 30 minutes. For some reason, my mobile's not updating my calendar. I've been breached! Now, trust me, if a threat actor got into our environment and breached us, whew, I would be seeing a lot more signs than right now, I could tell you that. I don't understand that. Kimberly Can Fix It. Me never, maybe the haircut fish. Any last questions? FedEx, be quiet. Just be quiet, dude. Oh, gotcha. I see. Okay. Oh, Kimberly Can Fix It. I've actually got the OBS recording too. So that way it's easier for you to do your shorts. You just have to add the titles and stuff. I'll get that over to the team's channel in just a bit after this. Oh, speaking of which, did y'all update the latest iOS? Here's something that you may, if you're a system administrator or security admin, have you looked at Cisco Duo before? Did you know? If you haven't, consider looking at it. The reason I say this is, don't get the free the entry level tier or whatever. There is another tier. It's not the super expensive one, but it's the middle of the road if I remember correctly. Taiwan gang, I'm not going to publicly disclose stuff that can be OSINTed and be able to penetrate into the side of our stuff. Some things should be kept private, just like your happy time. Don't do that on social media. Where was I? Oh yeah, so Cisco Duo will help you enforce mobile devices to be properly updated. It's pretty cool. It's a policy you can set up where if they're signing into SSO, they're signing into other platforms, you can make sure your EDR tool is installed before you're able to authenticate in. You can make sure the mobile devices are fully updated. So we've been using it for a while. I really do enjoy it. Because a lot of times Cisco, the Duo app, when I'm authenticating into all my stuff, will tell me I got an update on my phone before the phone even tells me I got an update. I'm like, ah. Rex asks, can we just destroy all the computers and start over? I wish. I really wish the pause and the hold on the whole AI stuff actually took hold. But there's too much money to be making on it, and just like the U.S. military, don't touch our boats. The U.S. economy, don't mess with our money. If you got value today, consider just tapping that thumbs up. I know everybody loves a good smash, but every once in a while, you can enjoy good tapping, right? I can't believe I just said that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I think I'm gonna get out of here before I accidentally say a really bad insert adult comment here. Appreciate y'all sticking around, 177 of you beautiful, sexy mofos. Until next time, y'all take care of yourselves.
The kid whose passwords laid across all sites, they were the same, a criminal, then found their fame by taking that data to go. Soon may a criminal come to steal your pictures and data and run. One day when the crime is done, they'll steal your account and go.
I hope you enjoyed the Jaw Jacking. Be sure to check out the Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Briefing happening every single weekday morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., where you can get the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, network with other professionals, and then stay for the Jaw Jacking just like you saw. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. See you in the next one.